Hi, welcome to Mommy Mondays. I'm Gianna, and I put out I put out videos on Mondays and Fridays. On Mondays we do Mommy Mondays about mommy magic, mommy mayhem, mommy madness. On Fridays I talk about luxury fashion, art, jewelry, everything to do with your closet, and we just let the conversation go wherever it takes us. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and subscribe. If you know someone else who would like it, please go ahead and share it. If you've come here more than once, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the bell so you get notified when I put out new videos. And stop trying to fight the urge to just love me and become my friend. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, tell me in the comments why not, and we'll see if we can sort it out for you. I'm jumping right into Mommy Mondays. We're talking about my son's still terrible too, and I still don't know where all his toys are. You know, I found some and then I lost them again. I'm going to have to enlist help from my Johnny, who is my husband, to help me find all of them. And it's not even a lot. It's just that they are individuals, so they go where they go. But this week I wanted to talk to you about how his eating has changed since he's turned 2. So it's interesting because it would appear that he still likes broccoli and vegetables and fruits and all those things, because he'll still eat bananas. He loves grapes. He'll still eat those things and request those things. But when he's eating now, he eats only a small portion. And I mean a real small portion, because, you know, he's a child, so we give him a small portion anyway, and he used to finish that. His appetite seemed much bigger before, but now it's like very small, and then he's bored easily and wants to move on to something else. So he wants to try something else, if he even tries anything. I think I told you last week that he eats stuff and he'll ask for it and then refuse it once you've opened it, or he'll ask for it. Like, it's nuts. It's actual crazy going on over here. But okay, so I'm trying to wean him. I am actively trying to wean my son now, because he's 2, and because my jobs are making it hard to keep up with any sort of regular schedule. And, you know, to breastfeed, as I told you before in other videos, it's kind of a labor of love, because you really do have to, you have to dress for him. You have to make sure it's something that can pull down. Like, you have to make sure, you know, it's a lot of effort. And at this point, nutritionally, they say he's not getting anything from the breast. But in terms of antibodies and stuff, I'm sure he's still getting something. And of course, he's getting the soothing aspect of it, the comfort aspect of it, which you want him to still know that he has access to, but at the same time, you want him to be able to function without it, which my son has shown time and time again that he's quite capable of functioning without it. He'll go 2 days with no breast, 3 days with no breast, and then all of a sudden one day he'll say breast, and I'm just like, how do you even remember? Like, you haven't had it in so long. It's like, and then he'll look at me like, wow, and he'll be like, yeah, and I'm just like, okay, so is it like a delicacy, like how I love sushi, you love breast milk? I don't know. But when he has the breast milk, he doesn't tend to need any food. Before, he used to eat the food, wash down with the breast milk, drink the breast milk, eat the food, have them both together. He was very, what I thought was greedy. But now it's like he's just not eating as much in general. And then he likes the junky foods now too. So I'm worried about that, and I'm going to have to figure out how to curb that. It's not all of them, but it's a considerable amount. Like, he loves the Doritos. And we all know that Doritos are not good for any of us, not kids, not adults, nobody. Like, it has like yellow 5, red 40, all sorts of crap in it. And I'm admittedly in love with Doritos too. So Doritos don't really come into my house, but when we go on the road, he knows what Doritos are and he'll want them. He won't get them all the time, but sometimes he will. And he loves them. He loves the cheese tricks, which I have loved since I was his age too. He will request donut, and he knows when we pass Krispy Kreme that that's a donut shop. And is it a testament to my parenting? No. It's a testament to his recall, because I literally took that boy to Krispy Kreme one time, and after that, every time we pass it, he said donut. Every time. And I'm like, dude, you're a little too smart. Must be all that breast milk. So yeah. So this video is really about my concern about his diet since he's hit terrible twos. And make no mistake, they're not terrific twos. They are terrible twos. He's not terrible, but the phase is terrible. He still has his moments where he's super sweet, super everything, all of it. So that's the thing, like, it makes you melt. But truly, I cannot deal. I cannot deal with the pickiness and the eating and all that, because he wasn't like that. He was not. And now he'll eat something, he'll eat it. He will actually eat it and reach almost the end and then you hear all of a sudden, don't like. And it's like with this Chinese accent, don't like. And I'm like, oh, you don't like? What don't you like? After you ate half of it, after you ate 3/4 of it, you don't like it? It's like, no. So I'm like, okay. And he does it quite a bit. And sometimes he'll, like, even with the Doritos the other night, he ate some of the Doritos, then he didn't want it, then he says he don't like it, then he went for cookies. I said no to the cookies, so he went back for the Doritos. And I'm like, so are you just messing with me? Is he just messing with me? For those of you who have been through this, who have had 2-year-olds, who have 2-year-olds, please to share in the comments, like, if you can relate and how you kept your sanity if you got through it. And yeah, how does all this work? How are we supposed to be feeling about it all? Because it's kind of ridiculous. Right. So there's his diet and my concern. So hold on. Let's get back to the weaning. What do you do though? Okay, so I have people who, some older women who have said, oh, if you're still breastfeeding, it's because you want to. I'm like, what? Okay. He turned 2 weeks ago, so yes, I wanted to up till he was 2. Now I'm trying to wean. Wean is not cold turkey. This is the part that I think they've all missed. All of these older women that are against breastfeeding, who had their own kids and did breastfeed, so they can say that they did, but they didn't really do it because, they wanted to. Cutting cold turkey and weaning are two different things in every way you can think, right? So if you're a drug addict and they're weaning you off of a drug, they do not cut you cold turkey. They reduce the dose until you no longer need it, and then you can be off of it completely. That is how you wean. If you're not a drug addict, if you're just on a medicine that needs that kind of go on and come off, right? They do the same thing. It's a reduction of the dose until. So if you're weaning a baby, right? The word used is weaning, not cut off. If you're weaning a baby, it would be, okay, you used to feed him 3 times for the day. You're going to cut it to 2. Then you're going to cut it to 1. Then you're going to not give it to him at all, but you might replace it with something. And that would be weaning. So every time someone comes to me and says, well, it's not every time because I don't really engage in this conversation too much. But when I did the one morning when someone said to me, "Oh, but if you wanted to stop, you'd have stopped." And it's just like, excuse me? I'm weaning now. Now is when I've started weaning. I wasn't weaning before. I wasn't trying to wean before. I was not trying to stop. Remember, I proudly breastfed my baby. And I'm still proudly trying to wean him. But that's the thing. That's my question to you all now. My question is, how does it work if it is that he can go 3 days and then he still remembers and wants it again? Because when he wants it again, he may get it once for that day. I think only in a rare circumstance he's gotten it twice in a day, because he doesn't get it often at all anymore. But how do you deal with the fact that he actually still wants it that much? And he remembers what it is, and he gets excited, and he comes over, and so how do you get, it's almost like it's more in his brain than a physical yearning or wanting. Like, I don't feel it's a need at all. It's literally his, it's like if you like sushi and you want to go get sushi, even though you don't need it every day. But how do you deal with that? Like, how do you wean in that case then? Because, after the 3 days, this is a true story. After the 3 days and he went for it, I resisted at first, but then he was like, and I was like, and then he was like, please, breast, and all of that. And when he did that, I just said, okay, you know what? Because in my mind, I swear, in my mind, I thought that there was no milk left because it's been 3 days. And I didn't swell up, and I didn't have any sort of, I used to get like these hard areas, little raised bumps, hard areas if it had gone too long in one day. But none of that has happened. So because of that, I was like, there's probably no milk in there. So, okay. Well, to my surprise, when he pulled off, the nipple was full of milk. So there's still milk, even if he doesn't pull for 3 days. So what do you do with that? How do I deal with that? Because he's remembering. It's not like a case where it's just an instinct happening. Or is it? Is it because I still have milk that he's smelling the milk, so he's requesting the milk? Could that really? Could that be what? Okay, I'm going to need somebody, maybe a lactation specialist, somebody who's watching the show to go ahead and weigh in. Because I would actually need an expert answer on that, because that part is crazy. So I don't know how to wean him, because he can go days without it. And then he requests it. So someone's going to have to help me out with that one. So, and then that's another thing, like now, because his diet is so all over the place, and so I feel less than before, less everything than before. It almost makes me feel like, oh gosh, but this is when he should be having more breast milk, even though I'm certain that he wouldn't be getting anything nutritionally from it. But is that really the case? Because he should be getting all his nutrients from foods, but if he's eating less and not getting the nutrients from foods, then isn't there some nutrients that would be in the milk that he would be getting? In lieu of not eating enough? I don't know. This part is uncharted territory. It was much easier when 6 months, first 6 months, everything he needed is in your breast, right? After the 6 months, that everything he needed is supplemented by your breast. So he's having the food and he's having breast, right? So you've got 6 months and then 6 months. So that's a year. So the first year of life, he's covered. Then when they said go till 2 because of all these viruses, etc., he needs more antibodies. You're like, okay, no problem. He's eating well. He's getting all the nutrients from food. He's getting antibodies from me. It's like a vitamin in a liquid form. Yay. and it's still liquid gold. Everybody thinks it's great, and you still have it, which a lot of people didn't have from the start or had to cut short from early, and you're just going on there like a champion. It makes you feel very good, very strong, very confident, very womanly, very feminine, very, oh yes, I'm a great mom. That's what you think, even though it's not that you think someone else is not a good mom because they don't have any. It's just that you feel extra special, right? So you feel extra special because you're able to do this, and then here we are. Like, here we are. You're like, okay, now how do we stop this? Because everybody else who stopped naturally stopped. Like, it wasn't their, like, it wasn't even their choice a lot of the time. It was just there was nothing there all of a sudden. They woke up with no milk in the boobs. And I'm like, well, clearly that's not my problem. Also, whatever hormone it is, remember, I know that I have more hormone. I'm certain of that, because when you're breastfeeding, you're typically, it's the same hormone that causes your period, that causes the breastfeeding or something like that, causes you to make milk, whatever it is. So typically when you're breastfeeding, you don't still get your period until you're done breastfeeding. So literally, I should have not had my period for like 2 years now. I should have been without a period. However, because I have so much of that hormone or whatever, my hormone was like, oh, girl, we got you. I did not want to be got. I was not planning to have any kids within the last 2 years, so I did not need a period, okay? But they got me. And so as soon as the 6 weeks was over, when, you know, things supposedly go back to normal, my period came, even though I was breastfeeding, and it's come ever since. There's been no hiccups. Like, I have been regular, actually. So right. So knowing this now, what does that tell us about when my milk will dry up? Will it ever? This is a true question, because it's not depleting fast enough. Yeah. So if anybody knows anything about that and about the nutrition and what I can get him to do to eat more good stuff, more anything though. I mean, because even the junk, as I say, he gets over it really fast. So God bless what's actually going in there. And he's quite fine. So, I mean, like, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, it's like you do want him to have all the nutrients he needs to support his brain, to support his bones, support his growth, his development right now. So if anybody wants to weigh in on that in the comments, please do so. Thanks for joining me for another Mommy Mondays. I'll see you on Friday for Closet Conversations. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you've been here more than once. And if you know someone who would like this content, go ahead and share it. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great week. See you Friday.